I have had regrets though when I do try to ask people what's wrong, and then
no.
I bite off a little more than I can chew.
Because they unpack.
Yeah, and I'm like, shit, you got a lot of baggage here.
And I don't even know how to address this. Jesus, all these layers.
Jesus. I mean, that's probably, I'm not a therapist, but I maybe I need to be a better support person. Especially when it's somebody that you know.
Oh, man.
And you know them for being extremely, like, strong and based.
Yep.
And when you see them break, it's like dudes are more inclined to ask dudes why they're crying than, say, a woman. Even if the woman is also known for the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Emotional damage!
Yeah, you could do.
Today's topic. People crying. Sometimes it gets awkward.
Yeah, I would... Context, I guess. It depends
So,
on...
if I'm just chilling here, minding my own business, and someone comes and stands next to me, bawling their eyes out, it depends on my vibe.
Do you ask?
In my head, it's like, do I ask what's wrong because I care, or...
Because if it's an expectation. Because they're...
Or do I walk away slowly?
Hope somebody
Smoke
else...
bomb?
Hope somebody else shows up?
I don't know. It gets weird. And I've seen it several times.
Oh, I was about to say, have you had any examples of it?
I've had this happen several times where someone's just like, crying, whether they're in their own place, and you don't know if you should acknowledge them, or you don't know if you should just go about their day, or go about your day. Me, I go about my day.
Okay.
Because I don't know if I'm the shoulder that they need.
That's fair. Would you agree that crying's done more on social media now? As almost a performance stunt?
Okay, if it's done on social media, okay, so if it's done on screen, I don't count that. But if it's done in person, that's different because you kind of got to address that immediately, or not address it at all.
Okay.
But, like, would you say there's a difference between men and women?
Absolutely. Obviously, women, kids, seems like the world stopped. People are more inclined to say, whoa, what's wrong? And be more compassionate and willing to be more empathetic almost.
I feel it's the opposite for me.
You think?
I think if it's a dude crying, I'm more inclined to...
Well, I mean, you personally. I mean, for me personally too. It definitely is. I care. I care regardless. But it's just for man. It's just you are.
But something broke you down, and we gotta know.
Especially you out in public, and you are just your world is just ending.
But what if that's because of the whole gender rules thing? People expect women to cry more than men, especially out in public. So we're kind of just maybe side-eyed, or maybe we're just kind of censored to the whole fact that they are crying, to the fact that we don't care. Because if a woman is crying for the loss of a loved one and a dude is crying for the loss of a loved one, I'm more inclined to ask the dude what's wrong than the woman, because I'm not trying to get drugged into that.
And that's true. And that could be just obviously personal experience. Same thing for me. Especially as men, we're expected to hold frame no matter
Right.
what. Throwing kids, throwing family, throwing obligations.
Right.
You got to be the one that's the rock and expose. You're the one that's supposed to keep it all together. But what happens when something comes? It's final blow. Maybe this is the last straw. You didn't get the promotion. You didn't. Get the opportunity you wanted. Maybe someone, the person you were with for years decides that they want to walk away from you. That's a lot of different blows.
I will say, though, like when women cry in movies, I don't care. Even when men cry sometimes. But there was one particular part, I believe it was Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, in the bathroom?
In the bathroom.
That scene
got me.
It hit everyone because it was just like, even though I haven't been in the bathroom, we've been in situations like that to where you
don't know what you're gonna do to survive, or what you're gonna do to provide for you and yours. So that's different. You're crying, but you all experienced something at the same time, so you get that. Kind of the same thing when you see someone crying when they hear a song playing, or they're at a concert or a show, and a song that may relate to something that happened in their life or something like that.
And it's triggered and everything. And it brings all that same emotion back. Because even though you're here in this present moment, your brain has no idea that the moment's not.
Like I feel that. But if we're like at a Walmart and you're just bawling, I don't know what contextual, like, are they out of ketchup? I don't know what's going on.
And I think this day and age too, men are also hesitant to even approach, because then people could take it out. Maybe people see you talking to them and think you guys are arguing with them, because people always seem to go to the worst case. Mm-hmm. Hey, do you need help? What's wrong? It's just like, whoa.
Is this man bothering you?
Exactly. Do we need to alert the authorities? So I think men are more inclined, if we see the person of the opposite sex experiencing that, not to necessarily engage. Obviously, it's
and it's also seen as like more of a, you're only doing this because, especially if they're like maybe attractive, you're doing this because you want something. You want to be this Captain Save a Thought or whatever.
Knight in shining armor syndrome. Yeah, I see it. I can see that too.
Let's talk about it when you're good. When you're good, if you need someone to talk to, let's have a conversation. But if you need to let it out, let it out.
Exactly, and that's something whenever generally I have seen someone do that, you need a moment to yourself, or what do you need to do? Do you need to go somewhere to maybe not be in such a upfront and personal audience scene, because people are just standing and watching, and instead of doing that, they're just watching, or they just do this thing now where they just pull their phones out and just record everything.
I think it hits dudes though more, because it's like, especially when it's somebody that you know, and you know them for being extremely like strong and based.
Yep.
And when you see them break, it's like dudes are more inclined to ask dudes why they're crying than, say, a woman, even if the woman is also known for the exact same thing.
Oh yeah, I precisely feel the same way. Yeah, like what moved you to this point to where you're doing what's going on? You know? Because sometimes people get, especially if they've never been there before, we all react differently to those stressors. So the last thing you want to do is be the last point of contact.
Yeah.
And not done something or said something, and even gave them notice. Hey, I noticed that this is out of your character. This is not you. What's going on? Even if people could, they don't even have to maybe tell you. The fact that you notice and you ask, that's all. Especially with men.
Oh yeah.
Like, we don't need you. We don't need to necessarily pour our hearts out. It's just the fact that somebody acknowledges we exist, first of all, and the fact that we are experiencing something that's enough sometimes.
Right.
You don't need to dive too deep into the issues, per se, unless if you need to go counseling or something or therapy. But just acknowledging it, having someone else say something, especially as a man, it means everything.
I have had regrets though when I do try to ask people what's wrong, and then I bite off a little more than I can chew.
Because they unpack.
Yeah, and I'm like, shit, you got a lot of baggage here.
And I don't even know how to address this. Jesus, all these layers.
Jesus. I mean, that's probably, I'm not a therapist, but maybe I need to be a better support person. When someone unloads their baggage, and their baggage then becomes a bit of your baggage now, because now you know things.
Exactly. And you're pretty judgmental. Do you look at them differently when they unpack?
It depends on what they're unpacking about. Because, it can unfold real fast. And I'm like, yo, I thought you were a Christian. What happened?
It's demon time.
Oh, my goodness. Jesus. But it's wild. I'm trying not to be as judgmental. Okay, look at me lying. April Fools. No, but it's something else. And if you need help, it's all about outlet. And I'm not saying you shouldn't cry.
No.
Men, women, not that you shouldn't cry, because holding it in and pretending everything is okay, toxic positivity.
Yeah, doesn't work. It does not.
So, crying. Is it awkward for me? Yes, absolutely. Have I cried in public? I did that one time. Would never do it again because I was made a fool of.
What?
I was jaded. So, never again.
Jesus, now look at
in private, you'll never know.
Golly. Okay, so I guess that's what we'll take from this. Especially as a man, if you're experiencing something, speak up, say something. If you see somebody else struggling, say something, especially this day and age. I know everybody's trying to stay out of everybody else's business, but with everything going on in the last few months, you can be changing the course of somebody else's lives. And then you even got to think about this deeper. Like, it's just hit me. You think of all these, like, well-known serial killers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of times, there were moments where someone could have intervened, multiple times even. Had someone intervene and just give just enough of a care, could have changed the whole course of their lives. And stopped their whole villain origin story. Could have just squashed it right then.
Or maybe it wouldn't have.
I don't know, but had somebody just cared or paid enough attention to somebody? The signs are there usually. It's just no one's paying attention. Same thing with the school crap that happens all the time. Yeah. There's always signs where the person asks for help, but they're always like, "Hey, deal with it." You look over it, and who cares?
People don't take it seriously.
And then they're just like, "Oh, okay, and now I'll make you take it serious."
Now, is that because help isn't accessible, especially in lower class society. It's not that it's not accessible. It's that you don't know that it is accessible.
You don't know the resources available or that you can attain, that you can still have it. Because there's always a cost to everything we do. So maybe you feel that it's outside of that. Yeah, that's true too.
I don't know, man. Well, I am $10. I'll listen to your problems.
That's not bad. There you have it.
Yep, $10.
You gonna drop your information so they can, send all that info.
I mean, they have me on Facebook. Just inbox me. I'll listen to your problems.
There we go.
I'm not gonna give you any advice because you got to come with a disclaimer of, my advice is gonna be pretty real, and do what you want to do, but you're accountable for your actions.
There you have it.
That's it. My name is Malcolm Eugene.
Will Robertson.
Like, subscribe, all that fancy stuff. You know what to do.
Appreciate it.
Why do I have to keep saying this? Because you guys are not doing it. Do it. Do it now. We're outro.